Each year, thousands of people die in drowning-related accidents.
Hey, there's Mr. Green out there. You know, I think he swims 400 to 500 yards a day. I can't believe it. Yeah. You know, he doesn't look as strong as he normally does, though. I think I better go help him.
By recognizing potential drowning situations and taking prompt action, you can save a life.
Mr. Green, hang on now. Got it? I'll help you out a little bit here. How you doing? All right?
The American Red Cross has developed this program to teach you how to assist victims of water emergencies.
Okay, here we go. Let's go there. Let me help you.
In this program, you will learn several important skills, including how to enter the water safely, how to approach a victim carefully, how to assist a victim to safety, and how to remove a victim from the water. You will also learn self-rescue techniques to help you deal with an active victim, and advanced rescue skills.
All right. Right this way. Hang in there. You're all right.
By knowing what to do in an aquatic emergency, you can make a difference. This program will show you how. Recognizing that a person is in trouble is the first step in saving a life. You can often recognize a tired swimmer by these signals. He may swim slowly or make frequent attempts to turn over and rest. A tired swimmer can become a distressed swimmer. A distressed swimmer will have difficulty with his stroke, often slapping the water and making little forward progress. If not assisted promptly, a swimmer in distress can quickly become a drowning victim. There are two general types of drowning victims, active and passive. An active victim will struggle in an upright position with the head tilted back. He will rarely be able to call out for help. This inefficient movement will quickly cause the victim to tire. Without prompt assistance, the victim will drown. The passive drowning situation is much different. A passive drowning situation can result from a medical emergency, such as a heart attack. The passive victim may suddenly slip underwater with little or no warning. Being able to recognize a tired, distressed, or drowning victim is the first critical step in saving a life. There are several methods that allow you to assist a distressed or drowning victim without endangering yourself. These include reaching assists, throwing assists, and wading assists. If no rescue equipment is available, you can reach out to a victim and pull her to safety. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Begin by firmly bracing yourself on the pool deck. Extend your arm and grasp the victim's wrist. Pull the victim to safety. If you are unable to reach the victim from the deck, you can extend your reach by entering the water. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Begin by entering the water safely. Grasp the pool gutter with one hand. Extend your arm and grasp the victim's wrist. Pull the victim to safety. If you need to extend your reach further, you can also use your foot to pull a victim to safety. Watch as the skill is performed. Grasp the pool gutter firmly. Extend your leg along the surface. Allow the victim to grasp your foot. Carefully pull the victim to safety. If the victim is beyond your reach, equipment such as a shepherd's crook can be used to pull the victim to safety. Watch the skill in detail. Stand at the edge of the deck. Extend the shepherd's crook to the victim's side. Place the hook around the victim. Pull the victim slowly to safety. You can also use the shepherd's crook to rescue a passive victim. Watch as the skill is performed. Stand at the edge of the deck. Extend the shepherd's crook. Carefully place the hook end under the victim's armpits and around the chest. Carefully pull the victim to safety. Additional equipment such as a ring buoy will also allow you to assist a victim beyond your reach. To use a ring buoy, begin by standing at the edge of the deck. Stand on the free end of the rope. Grasp the ring buoy on the underside, opposite where the line is attached. Hold the coiled line loosely in your other hand. Toss the ring buoy just beyond the victim.
Grab hold.
Once the victim grabs hold, carefully pull the victim to safety. You can also use a rescue tube to assist a drowning victim beyond your reach. To use the rescue tube, begin by standing at the edge of the deck. Clip the ends of the tube together. Hold onto the harness with one hand. Throw the tube to the victim. Carefully pull the victim to safety. If a victim is still beyond your reach, you can wade into the water and assist her to safety.
Grab on, grab on.
Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Enter the water and move toward the victim. Use a flotation device, such as a rescue tube, to extend your reach. Carefully pull the victim to safety. To review, there are a variety of non-swimming assists that can be used to help a swimmer in trouble. These include reaching assists, throwing assists, and wading assists. Become familiar with these assists so that you can help a victim without endangering yourself. There are several different ways to enter the water safely. Select the appropriate method based on the height of the entry and the water condition. The simplest and safest method for entering the water is to ease in gently. The ease-in entry is used when you are uncertain of the water depth or bottom conditions, or when entering to help a victim with a possible spinal injury. Begin by sitting at the edge of the deck. Support your weight with your arms. Lower your body gently into the water. Approach the victim carefully. Another method of entering the water is the stride jump entry. It is used to enter the water from a height of 3 feet or less. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Begin at the edge of the deck. Lean slightly forward. Stride off the deck, extending one leg forward. Extend your arms to shoulder height. As you enter the water, press downward and forward with your hands and squeeze your legs together. This action will help keep your head above water and the victim in sight. To review, use the stride jump to enter the water from heights less than 3 feet. Lean slightly forward. Extend your arms and legs. Bring your arms and legs together as you enter the water. When entering the water from heights of up to 5 feet, use the feet first entry. Jump into the water, keeping your head erect, eyes on the victim, and knees bent. After entering the water, spread your arms and legs quickly to slow your descent. Swim to the surface. The safest method for entering deep water from heights of more than 5 feet is the compact jump. Watch the compact jump performed in detail. Stand at the edge of the platform. Keep your head erect and your eyes straight ahead. Place your arms across your chest and hold them close to your body. Step forward, keeping your body and head straight. Bend your knees slightly and cross your feet. Once underwater, spread your arms and legs to slow your descent. Swim to the surface. To review, the compact jump is used to enter deep water from a height of more than 5 feet. Keep your body erect, arms crossed, and knees slightly bent as you enter the water. Spread your arms and legs to slow your descent. Swim to the surface. An effective diving entry used where the water depth is at least 5 feet is the long shallow dive. Watch the long shallow dive in detail. Begin at the edge of the deck. Position yourself with knees bent and your back parallel to the water. Keep your eyes on the victim. Push off the deck so that your body is nearly horizontal over the water. Extend your arms, lower your head, and enter the water at a slight angle. Maintain a streamlined body position during the underwater glide. Once your momentum slows, kick to the surface. To review, use the long shallow dive in at least 5 feet of water. Use your arms and legs to thrust your body horizontal over the water. Enter the water at a slight angle. Glide until your momentum slows. Kick and surface. To review, remember that there are several ways to enter the water safely. The method you select should be based on the height of the entry, depth of the water, and the bottom conditions. The approach to a drowning victim must be done quickly but cautiously. The type of approach used depends on the position and condition of the victim. For a passive victim at or near the surface of the water, a front surface approach should be used. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Enter the water and swim to within 6 feet of the front of the victim. Get into the ready position. Sweep your arms forward. Pull your legs up under your body. Carefully move toward the victim and prepare to tow the victim to safety. To review, the front surface approach should be used for a passive victim at or near the surface. Swim to within 6 feet of the victim. Get into the ready position. Move toward the victim and prepare to tow the victim to safety. An active victim should be approached from the rear. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. To perform the rear approach, enter the water and swim to within 6 feet of the rear of the victim. Get into the ready position. Move toward the victim and prepare to tow the victim to safety. Another method of approaching an active victim is to dive to the rear of the victim.
Hang on.
Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Perform a deep water dive directly to the rear of the victim. Once past the victim, turn, surface, and prepare to tow the victim to safety. To review, there are several methods of approaching a drowning victim. These include the front surface approach, the rear approach, and dive to the rear approach. The approach you choose depends on the position and condition of the victim.
Hang on, I've got you.
There are a variety of swimming assists and tows that can be used to bring a victim to safety. The one you choose depends on several factors, including the victim's size, weight, and condition, the rescuer's strength, water conditions, and the distance to safety.
All right. I got you. Hey, relax. Just relax.
The safest type of swimming assist or tow is one in which a flotation device is used. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Keep your eyes on the victim. Move into the ready position. Extend the flotation device to the victim. Tow the victim to safety.
Go ahead and kick.
Relax.
If a flotation device is not available, there are still other methods for moving a victim to safety.
Put my arm under yours.
Okay.
We're going to swim in together.
Okay.
To help a tired swimmer, use the front or back assist.
You're all right.
Can we help with that?
I'm gonna go behind you.
Okay.
I'm gonna take you under your arm here.
To perform the front or back assist, grasp the victim's upper arm. This will support the victim and keep his head above water.
That's it.
Swim alongside the victim until you reach safety.
Almost there. Great.
A similar technique is the two rescuer assist.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, what's wrong, Mike? Getting a little tired. I don't know if I can make it or not. All right, just relax. My arms. Tell you what, once you flip over, float on your back.
The rescuers position themselves on opposite sides of the victim, grasp the victim's upper arms, and swim alongside the victim until they reach safety.
Why don't you help us out, Mike, and kick a little? Kick? Yeah. Okay.
There are also several tows that can be used to move a victim to safety. One method that can be used to transport a passive victim is the wrist tow. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Begin by making a front surface approach to the victim. Assume the ready position. Reach across the victim and grasp the underside of the victim's wrist. Lean backward and pull the victim's wrist across your body. As you pull, rotate the victim's wrist so that the palm side of the victim's hand faces up. This action should turn the victim face up. Keep your towing arm extended. Tow the victim to safety. There are also several tows that allow the rescuer to help an active victim. One method is the single armpit toe. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Approach the victim from the rear. Grasp the victim's right armpit. Bring the victim to a horizontal position. Use the scissors kick to tow the victim to safety. You can also use the double armpit toe to move an active victim to safety. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Approach the victim from the rear. Move into the ready position. Grasp both of the victim's armpits. Bring the victim to a horizontal position. Tow the victim to safety. If the victim is wearing clothing or a personal flotation device, the rescuer can use the collar tow to move the victim to safety. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Approach the victim from the rear. Move into the ready position. Extend your arm and grasp the collar with your palm down. Lean backward and pull the victim to a horizontal position. Tow the victim to safety. To review, remember that there are several different methods for moving a victim to safety. These include assists and tows. Select the one that is most appropriate for the situation. Once moved to safety, the victim should be removed from the water quickly and without injury. There are several methods for removing a victim from the water. One method is the shallow water assist. To perform the shallow water assist, first help the victim to standing depth water. Place your arm around the victim's waist. Place the victim's arm over your shoulders. Grasp the victim's arm. Walk slowly forward, assisting the victim from the water. Another method for removing a victim from the water is the drag. To perform the drag, position yourself behind the victim. Place your arms under the victim's armpits. Lock your fingers together. Support the victim's head on your arms and chest. Walk slowly backward toward the shallow water. Another method is to lift the victim from the water. Watch as the lift from water is performed in detail. Begin by towing the victim to the side of the pool. Grasp the pool edge and rotate the victim to face the side of the pool. Reach under the victim's armpits and grasp the edge of the pool. Support the victim with your knees. Place the victim's hands, one on top of the other, on the pool deck. Hold the victim's hands in place and climb out of the water. Grasp the victim's wrists. Lift the victim from the water. Step back and lay the victim down gently, protecting the head. Place one hand on the victim's back and the other on the victim's thigh. Swing both legs onto the deck. Rotate the victim face up and check for breathing. To review, there are several ways to remove a victim from the water. These include the shallow water assist, the drag, and the lift from the water. The method used to remove a victim from the water will depend on the type of aquatic facility, condition of the victim, and skill of the rescuer.
Help!
Any water rescue can be dangerous. A swimmer in distress has only one thing in mind: keeping his head above water. There are several self-rescue techniques that can help you escape from a dangerous situation. These include the block, front head hold escape, rear head hold escape, and the wrist arm escape. One method of escaping from the grasp of a victim is to use the block technique. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. As the victim tries to grab you, duck your head and submerge. Place one hand high on the victim's chest. Extend your arm and push the victim away. Swim away underwater and return to the surface a safe distance from the victim. To review, move your head out of the victim's grasp and submerge. Block the victim by extending your arm. Swim out of danger and return to the surface. If a victim grabs you around the head from the front, you can use the front head hold escape. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. As the victim grabs you, take a breath. Tuck and turn your chin and raise your shoulders. Next, submerge. This action alone may cause the victim to release his hold. If the victim does not release his hold, bring your hands up to the underside of the victim's elbows. Push straight up while keeping your chin tucked and shoulders raised. Once free, swim underwater to a safe distance and surface. If a victim grabs you from behind, you can use the rear head hold escape to get out of danger. Take a breath, tuck and turn your chin and raise your shoulders. Submerge. Push upward on the undersides of the victim's elbows. Swim to safety. If a victim grabs you by the wrist or arm, you can use the wrist-arm escape to get out of danger. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. If the victim grabs you by the lower arm or wrist, submerge and try to pull free. If you are unable to free yourself, grab your own hand with your free hand and pull hard. Swim away underwater. To review, if you are able to anticipate the action of the victim, you may be able to block the victim before he has a firm grasp on you. If the victim grabs you around the head from the front or rear, you can escape by tucking and turning your chin, submerging, and pushing up on the victim's elbows. If you are grabbed by the wrists or arm, use the wrist-arm escape. Submerge and grab your hand with your free hand and pull hard.
Become familiar with these self-rescue techniques. Select the one that is most appropriate for the situation.
The water's way too cold right now.
No, but you know how I feel about that.
You go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not going without the raft. Charles, I'm gonna get you for that.
Have fun.
A well-trained rescuer never takes on more risk than absolutely necessary to get the job done. To get a swimmer out of danger. In this unit, you will learn advanced rescue skills for the lifeguard.
Call 911. He's not breathing.
Skills that include the cross-chest carry, multiple drowning rescues, use of a rescue board, how to perform rescue breathing in the water, and how to help a scuba diver in trouble. Each of these different specialized skills can help you achieve the same goal, saving another's life without endangering yourself.
She's doing fine now. It's mostly just for observation. We have an SO deputy coming to help you get direction. Okay. She should be here just momentarily. Is she going to be okay? Yes, sir. She's doing real fine right now. And we'll meet you there in the emergency room. Okay. Thank you.
There may be a time when a flotation device is not available to assist an active victim. If the victim is close to safety, the rescuer can use the cross-chest carry. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Use a rear approach to make contact with an active victim. Assume the ready position. Use the single armpit toe to move the victim to a horizontal position. With your other arm, reach under the victim's arm and across the victim's chest. Keep the victim's head and shoulders above water. Use the side stroke with either the regular or inverted scissors kick to carry the victim to safety. Surface and take a breath every few strokes. An alternate method of the cross-chest carry can be used if the distance to safety is great.
Watch as this alternate is performed. Approach the victim from the rear. Use the single armpit toe to move the victim to a horizontal position. With your other arm, reach over the victim's shoulder, across the chest, and grasp the victim's side just below the armpit. Use the side stroke with either the regular or inverted scissors kick to carry the victim to safety. To review, there are two forms of the cross-chest carry that the rescuer can use. Use the one that is most appropriate to your skill level and the distance to safety.
Occasionally, near drownings occur that involve two or more people. When multiple victims are submerged in deep water and only one lifeguard is available, the victims should be separated. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Surface dive to the rear of the victim who has attained the top position. Grasp the victim's armpits. Place your foot on the shoulder of the other victim. Press down and away with your foot and pull on the other victim until the two are separated. Tow the first victim to safety. To review, if you encounter a multiple drowning, use your hands and feet to separate the victims. Tow the first victim to safety. Performing rescue breathing in deep water is extremely difficult without a flotation device such as a rescue tube.
Help! You, go call EMS. Victim is non-breathing and has pulse.
Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Begin by using a front surface approach. Reach across the rescue tube and grasp the victim's wrist. Use the wrist toe to rotate the victim face up. Slide the rescue tube to just below the victim's shoulders. Grasp the rescue tube with the hand closest to the victim's feet.
Check for breathing. If the victim is not breathing, begin rescue breathing. Give 2 initial breaths. Check for a pulse.
You, go call EMS. Victim is non-breathing and has pulse.
If the victim has a pulse but is still not breathing, continue rescue breathing. Remove the victim from the water as soon as possible and continue to provide care. An alternate method is to fasten the rescue tube around the victim. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Wrap the rescue tube around the victim and secure the ends. Hold the tube in place with one hand. Position yourself at the head of the victim and begin rescue breathing. Another effective method for performing rescue breathing is to straddle the tube. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Before making contact with the victim, straddle the rescue tube. Snap the ends of the tube together. Once the tube is positioned, move to the victim. Position the victim face up. Support the victim in the do-si-do position by putting your arm over the victim's arm and under the victim's back.
Use your free hand to tilt the victim's head back. Check for breathing. If the victim is not breathing, begin rescue breathing. To review, the rescue tube can be used to provide flotation for the victim, or it can be used to provide flotation for the rescuer when it is necessary to perform rescue breathing.
Use the method that is most appropriate for the situation. A rescue board or surfboard can be used in several ways to help a distressed or drowning victim.
Hey, relax, I got you now. Please help yourself up on the board. Okay, I'm going towards shore now.
Watch as the skill is performed in detail. To rescue a tired swimmer, approach the victim from the side. Grasp the victim's nearest wrist. Slide off the board on the side opposite the victim. Help the victim onto the board. Position yourself behind the victim. Position yourself and the victim so that the front of the board is out of the water. Paddle to the nearest point of safety. If the victim is unable to get on the board, the rescuer can position the victim on the board. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Approach the victim from the side. Grasp the victim's nearest wrist. Slide off the board on the side opposite the victim, flipping the board over at the same time. Place both of the victim's arms across the board. Roll the board to right it. Protect the head as you move the victim. Next, position the victim lengthwise on the board. Position yourself on the board behind the victim. Keep the front of the board out of the water. Paddle to the nearest point of safety and provide care. There may be a time when you must rescue a scuba diver in trouble. If you find yourself in this position, there are 5 steps you should follow. Release the weight belt. Protect the airway. Bring the victim to the surface. Inflate the buoyancy compensating device. Breathe for a non-breathing victim. Watch as the skill is performed in detail. Once the victim has been located, release the victim's weight belt and pull the belt clear of the diver. Next, protect the victim's airway. Hold the mouthpiece in place if it was found in the victim's mouth. With your other hand, grasp the scuba tank valve. Bring the victim to the surface. Inflate the victim's buoyancy compensating device. If the victim is not breathing, begin rescue breathing immediately. Quickly move the victim to safety and continue to provide care. Even in the best managed aquatic environments, drownings can occur. This program has shown you a variety of ways to help when something goes wrong. You have learned how to enter the water safely, how to approach a victim safely, how to assist a victim to safety, and how to remove a victim from the water. You also learned self-rescue techniques to help you deal with an active victim, and advanced rescue skills such as the cross-chest carry, and how to perform rescue breathing in the water. Being able to provide the right care at the right time can make the difference between life and death. The American Red Cross developed this program in an effort to save lives. By knowing what to do, you can make a difference.